do we give these resources and tools and insights to anyone who's looking to do it themselves? But I think it'd be a false pretense for me to just say, sure, I stepped into Amazon for the first time and I took a business from 2 to 5 million without sharing that my historic background was in creative advertising and digital marketing strategy. So my career for about a decade was working with high-level companies like MasterCard and Sony and Mercedes-Benz, building out their content strategy, their media buying strategies, their production cadences, working with a lot of big D2C brands and building out their e-commerce store. So that was really my background. And when I stepped into Amazon and I joined a business that was doing 2 million, what I realized, and I think that this rings true to a lot of sellers, is that they effectively launched into Amazon and they found great products and they started building good brands. But what ultimately happened is that things can grow pretty quickly out of control. And I think when I stepped into that business with this team, that's what they'd experienced. They had grown to a level where they no longer had the capabilities or skill sets to really take it to a professionalized direction. And so what I did was I stepped in there and I initially understood what was their current state. So they had, the founders still doing design work and designing things on Canva, and they were writing their own copy, and English was like their third language, and they weren't necessarily great marketers, and they had no experience in supply chain and logistics. They did great work. I mean, it's no small feat to get to $2 million on Amazon, even when it was really the FBA gold rush and things were, I would say, much easier. But there's a difference when it goes from 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. There needs to be a shift. And so how I actually approached it is I took a stock take and I understood what were our gaps, our skill gaps when it came to competency and capability and resources, and what were the things that really moved the needle when it comes to business performance. And so effectively what I did was I assessed and took a real high level picture and then broke it down into granularities as to what was actually happening. Where were our dependencies? Where were the bottlenecks? Where were the challenges? And where was the limitations around resources? So that might be in your Amazon business, you don't have someone who's dedicated to listing optimization or creation. You don't have a graphic designer. You don't have someone who is really focused on your PPC strategy, whether that's internal, leveraging a platform, using an agency, and that can be relevant to every aspect of your business. So that's really how I approached it. And I built a really comprehensive plan and effectively created, simply put, an agency that ran this business rather than the business running itself, and fast, but in no centralized direction.
I do feel that a lot of Amazon sellers, even the power sellers, they need to sometimes look back and reflect on where they can have other tools coming in and automating a lot of their work so they can really focus on their strategies. And that's again something that Seller App in itself also used to think about, that okay, we have some tools for listing optimization, keyword research, but at the end of the day, the best way out is to eliminate all of these repetitive workflows. And I'm so happy that we put automation as a tool on our dashboard to help people out, especially when they have guidance from people like you. And then you get the tools, you can literally scale at the speed that you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a solution like Seller App enables having the right person to drive the technology, enabling those automations, because at the end of the day, no one's going to remain motivated doing arbitrary tasks that are repeatable, that can be moved over to being simple technology. You want people to be thinking when they need to be thinking, when it's actually going to propel the business in the right direction, not just because they can.
Hey, it's Riya Mittal here. Before you leave, make sure to subscribe to Seller App's main YouTube channel, where we upload all things Amazon and some how-to guides that will make sure that you're winning on Amazon. You will not get this anywhere else. Until the next time, happy selling.